Welcome to Dark Dial.
Hey, welcome to Dark Dial.
Welcome to Dark Dial.
How's everybody doing tonight?
I'm excited. How
Yeah.
are you?
I am always excited.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's a good time.
How about you, Gavin?
I'm very excited.
Good. Let's get started.
We're not going to boycott Nikon or anything.
You know, we might boycott Nikon. It's a legitimate thing. We'll tell you guys about it later, so stay tuned to hear about why. So we've got some interesting topics tonight to cover. Jacqueline,
Yeah.
what did you have for us?
So we're gonna go over some celebrity clones,
Yeah.
also some government conspiracies against clones. Like, well, actually, they're not against it. They're saying that it was a possibility, even in 1997. So we're gonna go through some of that, see what we believe, see what we don't, and see what might be in the middle.
Where can people find you, Jacqueline?
Cryptic J on Facebook or Dark Dial pretty much on every platform.
Bingo. What do you got, Chance?
Well, I've dug through some FOIA requests that came out recently, and I found a couple of videos that came out of Border Patrol that show some more interesting UFO phenomenon. So I figure we could take a look at a couple of those and see what we think about that. And, you know, I also found an interesting research paper from the University of Knoxville talking about spontaneous human combustion. So there's quite a lot of material in there, and I have a few interesting points I'd like to talk to you guys about with it, for sure.
All right.
Where can
I'm
people find you,
excited.
Chance?
Oh man, you can find me on darkdial.com currently. There will be more socials eventually. I know I've been saying that for a month, but one day, I promise. Soon, TM.
Check out darkdial.com. That's our forum. We do some research on there. That's where we post all of our citations for the episode. It's a real cool forum that you can reach out to a community of people to discuss stuff like this. So,
Absolutely.
I'm Gavin. I'm over here pressing buttons as usual, trapped in the CRT. Can't get out.
We do feed him. We take the VCR and we
Occasionally.
stick TV dinners, like frozen TV dinners, in the VCR, and he gets them somehow. I'm not sure how it works, but it works, so we go with it.
I just inhaled a cheeseburger, like inhaled it before we started. So
That was incredibly fast.
I've never seen such a feat of human tenacity, really.
anyway, you can find me at Merlin's Museum. That's Merlin's Museum, just about any platform. So, all right, should we do the thing?
Yeah.
The
Do
thing?
the thing real quick.
Let's
The
do
thing
it.
has changed.
Yeah, we got a new
everybody.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
So where we point is going to be different. Expect a couple
All right, you
more
ready?
shows
3,
of difficult
2,
pointing.
1.
All right.
Oh,
Like, subscribe,
faster.
and get
Faster.
notifications.
we're breaking. You want to try again?
Yeah.
Okay, we got it. Oh God.
Breaking the chair again. All right.
gotta be-
So
we gotta be
like,
quicker.
subscribe, and get
Oh
notifications
God. Hold on. No.
for our
Like,
next
one more
show.
time. I wasn't paying attention. I
Okay,
wasn't paying
okay.
attention.
I mean, we paid for these special effects. We might as well use them, right?
That's what I'm saying.
All right. So like, subscribe, and get notifications. We
Please
need your
do.
help on getting our channel started. So like and subscribe and get your notifications for every Friday night show.
Honestly, it's not just that too. If you can just watch as much of you can of it, just let it
Yeah.
play. That's what really helps the algorithm. So
Make sure you watch it if you like it, and if you don't like it, leave us a comment telling us why. That way we can improve our content for you. We want to get you guys the content that you want.
yeah,
so.
I've been waiting for the strongly worded letters. Just
We're gonna get one eventually.
somebody
I
who's
think.
very angry because I mispronounced Makilian Bembe.
It's
okay
actually
with that.
Makwele Mbombe.
Hey, we should get some jams
Makele
started as
Mbembe.
well.
Oh, okay.
there
Yeah, that's
are
a good
no
idea.
jams
We need some
kicking. There are no
jams.
jams.
My bad, my
Man, I
bad.
think that would be a
seems to
cool little
always be a
background.
problem.
Okay, it's just, you know, the entire audio setup is in CRTV land with you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all in here, all right.
We shoved all our CDs straight into the back of that TV, so
It's bad. It's a mess.
we didn't give
We're
them
getting
any
there.
cases.
We're getting there. It's a work in progress.
Trying to capture a show entirely through USB ports inside a CRT television. Cathode rays always zapping everything. It's
Hey, that's half the fun, honestly.
Exactly.
So we're gonna do more calls tonight. being our 4th episode and whatnot, we just felt messing with the format a little bit. So we'll be taking calls after about an hour, and then like every hour. So every time we kind of finish up talking, we'll take calls instead of doing them all at the end of the night.
Gives you guys an opportunity to not sit here for 4 hours before you get to share your opinion with us. You have a couple more opportunities.
Don't call yet. The phone line is not open.
But you can leave us a voicemail,
Leave us
but
a
make sure you
voicemail.
call back when we actually open the lines.
We
too.
do listen to
We
the
want to hear
voicemails.
from you.
And when you do call, just expect you'll mostly hear Chance.
Hey, that's me.
Yeah, you're mostly talking to him. He's the telephone operator. My signal's bad inside the cathode ray tube.
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator.
Oof.
All right, guys. What do y'all want to get started talking about first?
I don't
I feel
know.
like there's just so many good things going through my head right now.
You know, I think we should rock, paper, scissors for it if I'm telling you.
All right, so best out of 3 on topics, mine versus yours.
Best out of 3. It's got to be best out of 3, because if you do it any other way, it's either too easy or just way too hard.
So we're doing like rock, paper, scissors.
See, I can't
Okay.
do that. I grew up 1, 2, 3, go.
No, you gotta go on
go.
scissors. That's the only
Oh,
proper
dude, that
way.
So you have
messes
to
me
go
up
like
so bad.
rock, paper, scissors, go.
Yeah, like rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay.
Like 1,
let's
2,
do
3,
it.
4. It's like a 4 bar, right? You do
Yeah, I mean,
3
you
bar,
call
that's a
it,
little
like,
too jazzy
first
for me,
game.
right? It's a little too off tempo.
All right, let's see what you guys got.
Oh
All
god.
right.
That's gonna keep happening. I'm telling you. You just
The
gotta leave it
chair's
down.
trying to sabotage me.
All right. So here we are. Gavin, you can call it out.
Oh, you want? So am
Count
I
us
doing
down.
shoot or am I just doing on scissors?
Yes, on shoot. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on.
Rock, paper.
Oh wait, hold on. Okay,
Oh,
hold on.
gosh.
Hold on. It's like the thing, right? We gotta
Yeah.
practice a couple.
Yeah,
We didn't-
rock, paper,
We did this
scissors.
in rehearsal.
Okay, yes. Let's try this.
Yeah, I know.
Ready, guys?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ooh.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, that's 1 for me. 1 for me.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
All right, he wins.
2 out of 3.
All right.
I don't really know what this
Can somebody keep score that is 1?
What was this? I don't even know what I did.
It
it was
like
it
a
was like
rock,
a paper
but
and a rock.
It fell out. So, did you just crumple up a ball of paper
I
and
don't know
toss
what
it
I
at
was
me?
doing.
Do we need a rock, paper, scissors overlay?
I think we need a rock paper scissors overlay.
All
I
right,
will.
maybe.
I will.
We'll look at that.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
All right, so what can I pull up for you, Chance?
Well, honestly, I think the easiest thing for us to dive straight into are those FOIA requests. If you look in that episode 4 links right there, we've got the cbp.gov.
Gotcha.
So this is going to be the U.S. Customs and Border Protection government website. And we are looking at a Freedom of Information Act record request. So for anyone that doesn't know, the Freedom of Information Act is a bill that was passed that essentially allows citizens to make requests on classified information that they believe has no harm to national security and no reason to not be declassified, and it brings it into the public sphere for everyone to be able to consume the information.
Ooh, I got a good FOIA thing that I can pull up
Yeah?
at some point. Yeah.
I love FOIA rooms. The CIA's FOIA room is probably my favorite. They've got some really interesting stuff in there. I find myself digging around more often than I'd like to talk about, honestly.
I've got a good FBI one that's kind of jaw-dropping.
Oh, exciting.
All right.
Exciting.
Very difficult to read, old photocopy too, so.
No doubt.
Yay.
And that seems to be most of them, to tell you the truth, are just completely illegible, and 90% of what's on the page is redacted with black squares.
Yeah,
But the things
yeah.
that you do find that you can actually get a hold of to read, they're good stuff. It's always good stuff.
Which file here?
Any of the videos there. So there are different
I see.
videos.
Okay,
Some of
video
them
pertaining-
are split into different
Ooh,
parts.
this is gonna be good.
Yeah,
isn't
they
it?
are. They are. Some of them are larger than others, but we do have a few, so we can just run down the line. I think there's 6 of them. It might be 9. I get those numbers confused sometimes.
Okay. You wanna set up what these are while I'll just go ahead and download them all.
Yeah, absolutely. So it most of them seem to be FLIR footage from what I was seeing. Once again, we see that a lot of these videos come in FLIR footage. I find that very interesting. You know, it's not every drone necessarily that's equipped with FLIR, so I find it a little more than coincidental that the drones that are equipped with the ability to more easily discern objects against the background are the ones that we see actually capturing footage of these incidents.
Yeah.
And they, once again, a lot of them seem
Drone mounted
to be
FLIRs, or
yeah, that's what it seems to be for sure, is drone or maybe even fighter pilot. Some of them seem to be moving fast enough to allude to possibly being fighter pilot, but I don't know if that's the case with it being border patrol. It may just be a smaller, speedier drone that we're seeing in those.
okay.
And I'm going to tell you the truth. I didn't know Border Patrol had a FOIA before I started looking for this document here recently. I've gone to the CIAs, I've gone to the FBI's. It makes sense to me that every department obviously has one, but it didn't click that Border Patrol was gonna have a FOIA to dig around in.
I mean, it makes sense though. With us living near the border, we can see drones consistently every night. So we know they're catching stuff.
Yeah, they are kind of non-stop. I mean,
on any given night at dark, you can probably see 5 or 6 around, just going back and forth.
Eyes in the skies. No. Now the question is, are they drones or are they just birds? Because birds are drones, right? Birds are government drones. They're sent to spy on us and just make sure they don't look like they're spying on us. So make sure you don't trust your local pigeon.
Well, what I find interesting, I mean, it's not like they're specifically looking for these UFOs. These are probably drones on other missions. Like you said, maybe they're patrolling a border, whatever the mission might be that it's on. And this just seems to come secondary. Do you know when did these videos drop? Like when
they released last Wednesday or the Wednesday before, the 9th, I believe it was.
So we're talking hot new footage here.
Yeah, this is brand new stuff. This is absolutely well, I wouldn't say brand new, a couple of weeks out, but it's...
Well, some of them might predate this particular compilation too.
Oh, absolutely. I imagine these are probably stretching years back, and if I had to take a guess, and I don't know for sure, I believe you can look up the FOIA request that was made to disclose these. However, if I had to take a guess at what the request was, it was a general date range of different videos relating to aerial phenomena.
Let me go ahead and turn down volume just in case there is something on here.
Did you see the missile launch the other night that you could see from here?
No.
It was from Vandenberg Air Force Base in California, where I grew up.
Yeah.
But you could see it from here the other night. Everybody was taking pictures of it and posting online, like, it's a UFO. It was just a missile launch.
I did not.
It was pretty cool.
I've actually missed the last couple of... I guess I wouldn't classify that as an astronomical event, but the last couple of astronomical events, there's been some supermoons and some meteor showers recently that I haven't gone out to see, unfortunately. I just found myself...
we tried to go see the supermoon. We got a storm, like, right before it happened. We couldn't see anything. It was dark.
Yeah.
When's the next full moon?
I did see the pictures of the missile launch. That was cool.
Okay. The next full moon? I am not
How
sure.
close to Halloween will it be?
Ooh, I hope
Hopefully
it's super
on
close.
Halloween.
And we're going to have a Friday the 13th in October.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And make sure you guys
excited.
tune in for the Friday the 13th show. It is going to be the
I'm sure
spookiest
we'll
episode you've ever
dress
seen.
up and have some fun. I might even dress up the dogs. I've been thinking about it.
course.
We've been looking at some
Of
costumes
course.
for 'em.
We'll dress up Meredith.
Yes. Meredith also needs to...
She's going to be spookier than you've ever seen her.
Yes.
I believe you mean the Friday the 13th special.
Yes.
It is going to be a special. It is going to be a special. Make sure you guys tune in. Stay up to date with that one. You know, Gavin, I'm seeing something in the backstage set that I am honestly very upset hasn't made its way to the foreground set yet.
What's
Which
that?
one is
That's
that?
going to be that lava lamp sitting over there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think that would be a perfect
it
addition to
Our
the
wide
set.
shot doesn't even catch that.
No. I think, you know, we might have to add that in. That's a good one.
We could definitely work
That's a
that
fun
in.
We have
That's
a
not a
few
problem.
lava lamp collections around the house. We like them.
Well, I have these videos queued up here, kind of.
Awesome.
So this is the first one. Shall we?
We
Let's
shall.
check it out.
So we are looking at some grainy footage right now, and it looks to be at a pretty... Oh, we have clicked into a higher resolution. We are witnessing that almost
Looks like
appears to be a star, or like a small, like an ultralight maybe. It has arms coming out of the side there.
It looks like it does. Like it
But
almost.
that might just be light or like heat radiation coming out of the side. No, that looks like a...
That's weird looking.
Can't tell
It looks like
what
an
that is.
osprey or something almost.
Like it could be a low-flying aircraft, but it's like it has rays coming out of it.
It'd be one of those like one-person planes.
Yeah, they fly those around here a lot too.
I've seen
Those
them a
are
couple
those are
times.
very
They're
common.
A little weird.
I
I
you
don't
know
think I could do it.
I've thought about getting one before. They're really cool. I think I'd kill myself.
Yeah,
and that's
I
the
think
problem.
that's how I would die.
It would be a fun way to go, but you know, you'd still go. This one is interesting to me. Those rays coming off the side are okay. That's a paraglider.
That looks like
Yeah,
a
that looks like a
paraglider.
paraglider.
That's an
for there.
ultralight. That's a paraglider.
messing with us.
110%.
So I feel like that one can like be debunked.
I
It's
don't.
not a UFO.
I don't know if it can
But
be
there's-
debunked based off this footage alone, but there's nothing here to tell me this is anything other than.
This is border patrol. It makes sense. There's mountains along the border, very mountainous
When
regions.
people, they do
could-
it over here too. They paraglide and stuff.
Now, keep in mind, we are looking at unidentified aerial phenomenon. So these are things that may or may not be UFOs. There's a lot of things getting lumped in to this
Sure.
category now that they've changed the language around it, and we may be seeing kind of a dissuasion or a...
Well, and we've talked about that. It bothers me that they've switched it to this UAP phrase because.
Well, it may be purposeful. It may be like a dissolution of the meaning of what we're looking at.
Well, we went into language drift last episode, right? About the Makiliambembe and how, like, over time they may be calling other animals Makiliambembe because just it drifts over time and over geographical areas. And in this case, I think the unidentified aerial phenomenon is an even vaguer term
An
than.
unidentified flying object.
Yes.
It encompasses a much broader range of things because a phenomenon, and I think
Well, and the UFO already encompassed a lot. It could have been anything. It's just something unidentified. But now we're talking about phenomenon, and it encompasses stuff like ball lightning or weather events. It doesn't have to be a flying object.
Say that someone is flying through an area that happens to be more humid than normal, and there is an area where maybe a cloud tried to start to form but didn't, and the condensation in that little bit of air was just a little bit higher, and they got a strange refraction out of the corner of their eye for a second that made that area look a little bit different than the place around it. That's a UAP now. It is a
Right.
phenomenon that happened in the air that they were not able to identify what it was.
It's an intentional confusion and an intentional dilution of the phenomenon.
Absolutely. Dilution, there's dilution. That's it. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
they're
good.
diluting the term, and they're confusing people because, like, it's starting to work its way into the modern parlance, but a lot of people hear UAP and still don't know. They don't know that it's UFO. You know. What you doing?
Well, is it
George is always being George.
is it trying to get a new generation to look at it differently, or is it trying to sway the generation that grew up with UFO to look at it differently? Is this just
Well, we talk about FOIA request. Maybe you were looking for UFOs in FOIA request. Now, what's a UAP? Now we know to look at that. But who's to say they don't just continue to come up with different words?
different terms? And that's actually very common when you look through FOIA requests, especially if you're, say, researching a project that became declassified. You'll find that the project itself will switch names 10 or 15 times, and you'll hit a dead end with one name, and you know the project ran for 20 years, but you'll see that one name only has FOIA requests that go up to 3 years of the project's runtime. Well, it's because it switched names. They were able to obfuscate the actual name, the actual run of the project by obfuscating the language that surrounded it.
Just by consistently, again, drifting the language. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's look at number 2 here.
Absolutely.
We're tangenting.
We've got more FLIR footage, it looks like, here. And these are pretty high up. Those are, we're looking at trees there, and if you guys know anything from the mountains down here, the trees you see look about like that size, and
Well,
they
we
are
don't
a
know
lot
exactly
bigger in person.
where this is at. It's presumably somewhere
along
the
border.
U.S.-Mexican border.
Yeah. You know, even possibly Canadian. There is a non-zero chance this is along the Canadian border. We have all of the actual information, unfortunately, in the video has been redacted.
Well, and look at how much is redacted. Like, we got a date. Everything else is blurred out.
The date being November 23rd, 19. I still haven't seen...
I'm not picking up on it yet. I'm also looking at tiny screen.
Wait and see.
If you guys are watching, a lot of times we don't watch this footage so that you can get our reactions live to it.
Absolutely. I took a couple of peeks to make sure we were going to have something worth watching, but actually going past the first few seconds. This is interesting. I mean, they're obviously looking for probably signs of life, like people or individuals. So you're right on these incidences most likely being coincidental, because they're scanning the ground. They're looking at what look to be almost trails. Everything they've gone in on has some kind of linear path that follows. We've got a fence line there that follows. So they're definitely, it doesn't seem like they're looking for any type of incident to happen, and they are just kind of happening in front of it, which makes me curious why these incidences seem to only happen in this large of a number in front of government aircraft, and they don't seem to happen like this in front of civilian.
Well, this is a very
craft.
long clip for us to be not seeing anything
Not seeing
yet.
anything at
Unless
all.
I'm missing something, but it doesn't look like the camera's seeing anything. It's just scanning.
The camera looks like it's trying to find something.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? Oh, this is the bottom of the plane?
Yeah, this
What?
looks like a plane.
That is absolutely a plane, 100%. But what are we seeing? Is there a drone in front of the plane? This almost looks CG. I'm not sure.
I have no idea what we're looking at here.
What vantage point is this
I don't think
from?
it's CG, but yeah, it was the drone around the plane.
Is it a gimbal camera maybe coming off of the nose or something of that nature? That would make sense. I do hear they use these propeller planes a lot to do surveillance. They look like civilian craft, so most people don't tend to question it. They typically use like Cessna type.
Oh, this is long.
Single engine, little twin engine, something like that. Propeller planes.
Well, it's interesting to see this footage because it lends itself to more than just the UFO phenomenon. Like, when we talk about conspiracies, government conspiracies and stuff, you never know what you're going to find in these FOIA requests.
No, you really don't. You really don't. And you find some things that'll change your mind on some things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm looking for. I see, are those Saguaros?
Saguaros?
Yeah,
Yes.
those almost look like Saguaros. So we can
those are
use that to pin
Saguaros.
down the location a little bit more. Those are pretty
Well, we're
specific.
probably talking about what, like near Yuma?
Yeah,
maybe?
somewhere in that
Yuma,
area.
Tucson, Nogales area.
No, I don't think there's any in eastern Arizona, like southeastern Arizona, because it's too high of an elevation.
Yeah, it goes a little bit more north than that.
Yeah, the landscape changes due to the elevation, and you get into grasslands.
Which is interesting that you'd find border patrol that far north. If we are like fairly correct in that assumption, that would be, because that's a couple 100 miles away from the border.
Well, Yuma would be on the border, but I just know
Valid,
Yuma's
valid.
lower elevation. But if this is like up in like Phoenix or in the Tucson area, especially Phoenix, you are getting pretty far away from the border. I wouldn't be surprised for them to
Yuma makes a
be-
lot of sense with what we're seeing right here.
This thing's high.
This
thing's
thing's
high
very
up.
high. We've
shot
got a
is
city
very high.
there.
It looks like it.
Hey, there we are now.
Interesting. This is almost, I feel like we're watching political footage and not necessarily UFO footage.
I mean, I can
Yeah.
speed it up. These are long clips, it looks like. You're seeing that. This is like a 15-minute long clip. Shall I?
Yeah, I feel
speed
like
it
we
up a
should
little
speed
bit.
up,
Give it
see
give
what
it
we
maybe
got.
1.5 for now, and let's see what happens.
So how was your weekend?
Well, it hasn't happened yet.
Last weekend, man.
Last
I
weekend?
don't know anything about last weekend.
Let's see. Last weekend, what did I do? I don't think I did too much, to tell you the truth. I think I
Probably
think
worked on Dark Dial stuff.
yeah, I took a couple of naps, made some
I'm pretty sure you were messaging me all weekend, like, check out this effect.
made some shorts, you know, getting deep into Resolve is pretty fun, to tell you the truth. I didn't think I would be having as much fun learning a new program as I would, but with it being close to what I'm used to, it's been a good time.
See, there's the prop again, moving in front of the FLIR.
Yeah, that's it has to be like a gimbal camera, but it almost
Yeah.
seems like it's free floating like outside of
Yeah, like it has a lot of range, it would seem like, of movement on the plane itself, so I don't know how that works.
I wonder, it's possible that we could look up, do a little bit of research and figure out like what model and what
Yeah.
like this is. We've got a date. We could honestly look up flight records and find an area that matches the way that it moves, but that is far and beyond the time that I have to dive into a video that I can't see anything on. still.
Right. This is November 23rd, 2019. That's
2019, 4 years ago.
pre-COVID, supposedly.
4 years ago, almost to the month.
Should I speed it up again?
Yeah, I say
Yeah, give
I'm
it a
ready to
little bit
see
more. This
something.
is
So far, this is boring. And unless they've intentionally, and we can talk about this, maybe they have intentionally
they're poisoning the
buried
well.
this. Yeah, they've buried it. You got to really look for it. And so, I don't know. It better be good then.
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. We have two different ideas there, but
No,
similar.
yeah, like there's maybe something in this video, but it's deep in there.
Doc.
presumably they're gonna
It's just-
follow whatever
It's
they
taking
see,
a picture
right?
there, right?
Yeah, there was a heat signature. Wind that back. That might have been like a habitable area.
It seemed like it snapped a picture almost, like there was like a shutter, like it was your phone app, your phone camera app. I don't know. It was weird. Yeah, you wouldn't think so, but there was like a flash.
No, I get you, and it probably did. I'd imagine it has the capability to do that inside of recording. Unlike Nikon.
Nikon needs to step up its game.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm still just not seeing.
I'm
No,
not
like
seeing
nothing at
anything.
all.
I feel like maybe we should just skip on to
Yeah,
the
we were-
next one.
we were
maybe?
late.
Click ahead a little bit.
We were late starting because of a Nikon issue. That's all the jokes there. The
Yeah,
inside
absolutely.
jokes.
They've been
With
giving
3
me a little
times
bit of
speed.
trouble.
Well, like Chance was saying, he's learning video editing. We both are, and the reality is we wear a lot of hats.
All of us do.
Yeah,
all
we're
3
doing
of us.
server
Yeah.
administration, social media management, content creation, all of it. So
So sometimes it may come off a little sloppy, but please forgive us.
yeah, squeaky toy.
Everyone needs a squeaky toy, if I'm
Okay,
being
since
honest.
this is so
It's a
boring.
monster.
Yeah, start
guys let me know
clicking
if you see
through,
something.
clicking ahead. Presumably, if they find something, they're gonna stay with it, right? So let's Let's just run through and see if they click to anything by the end of
I
it.
do think they purposely did this though.
Because
So who wants to sit through 15 minutes of this? It's boring.
This is nothing. I'm not sure what's happening.
There better be an ET at the end giving a peace sign.
This video was nothing.
I don't think. Yeah, I mean it's a multi-part video. This is
part
2.1. So I don't. Was that just for context? Like,
it's gonna be another 50.
Right.
yeah, this one's really long. I've got it playing at 3 times speed though.
Start clicking through, see if they find something to track, and then we can wind back to where they track it. Just give it like minute-long click-throughs.
Look at the beautiful landscape.
Come to beautiful southwestern United States,
Yeah.
where we've got rocks,
It's just
cactus, desert, sand, cactus,
And snakes.
all of a
and
sudden,
snakes.
all of a sudden on the video, you start to hear Tim Allen's voice, just doing the tourist commercial. Yeah, for those of you who don't know that, he did Michigan, pure Michigan. Oh, there we go.
There
Now we're talking.
Okay, hold on a second. That looks like a cartoon ghost doll.
I was
All
just
right,
thinking, like,
let's get this on
what
regular
is
speed
happening?
here.
That didn't look real.
play
What
back.
is that?
Where's my speed?
Yeah.
Oh, I
don't-
can't see it. Goes.
That didn't.
You know what it was? It was illegal gold mining gangs on a jetpack.
Wasn't it like dwarfs or something that they blamed that on? Like
Oh,
illegal.
they blamed it on illegal gangs of gold miners with jetpacks wearing clown masks.
Yeah, we're talking about the Peruvian case, right?
Peruvian case, yeah.
What government said that? The Peruvian
The
government?
Peruvian government, that was a special investigator assigned to the case. That was their official statement of what the explanation was.
Some supposed ETs that were loose in Peru.
You know, I do keep my eyes out for updates on that, so as soon as I find one, you guys will get it. So make sure you stay tuned if
There
you're
it is,
interested in the
guys.
Peruvian face peelers. Now, we have got... You guys
It's
ever
like
play...
one of those wrappers swans. You know, like
Yeah.
you wrap with foil.
You guys ever play Dark Souls?
Not sure what that is.
It looks like a talisman from Dark Souls, like you're casting a spell, man. It doesn't look like a flying craft. Like, is that like a piece of cloth attached to a string, and it's being pulled very rapidly along that string?
Steven in chat says it's Superman.
It could be.
Steven, you might be right.
You
I'm
might
not
be
gonna
right.
lie. We could be seeing anything right here, and Superman is just as likely as the next.
I don't know. It could be a witch. You ever see those weird cases of like floating people?
It does kind of look like a witch on a broomstick.
It looks like a witch on a broom.
I see it.
Okay, hold on. But, like, witches are actually, in the area this is in, a legitimate
Wait,
superstition.
Witches are a legitimate superstition everywhere.
Yeah, I know, but they hold, like, higher... I feel like the European tradition, like, the traditional witch in European folklore is dead. In terms of not many people recognize it outside of its flanderized media example.
Well, aside from like, you know, Wicca.
Valid.
It even says
Valid.
Goku, maybe.
Ooh.
Could be. Could be.
We got Super Saiyan 3 Goku right here, captured live on footage.
Gonna need to see a Dragon Ball. What gets me about this is it isn't changing directions in a way that leads me to believe like, oh my gosh, what could it? You know what I mean? Like it's flying as you would expect something to fly. I don't know how fast it's going, but given the landscape underneath it, it can't be going, you know.
But we have to consider parallax. We don't know how high this plane is, how far
That's
it's
true.
zoomed in, and where in relation to the ground the middle point that we're tracking is, and that can contribute a lot to what we're seeing in terms of how fast it looks like it's going.
Yeah, I know that's a poor example, but like something like the Go Fast video, the
it's
Tic
not
Tac UFO.
turning at 90-degree miles and 90-degree turns. You know, it's not. It's behaving like a terrestrial craft should.
Could this be some cartel tech?
Cartel tech.
Yeah.
You know, I know the cartels are militarized now. I know that they've got APCs and they've got legitimate, you know,
But we talk
they've
all
got
the
a force behind them. But you know, I don't know what. Is it a drug smuggling plane, maybe? Like a small little homemade plane? I know
Or
they make
drone?
submarines.
We talk all the time about the technology, like it could be technology from a nation state actor or a UFO. Like we've gone through that argument before.
And
when
might
we
as
see
well
something,
count the cartels as a nation
we'll
state
see
actor
something
at this
on
point.
footage that we can't tell whether, you know, yeah, that's my point, is like there can be actors that are not nation state actors that could have technology that is impressive to us or could look extraterrestrial.
No, I get where you're coming from with that. They do have, like, we've seen drug smuggling submarines and things like that, and we've seen.
Well, how much delineation is there even between the cartels and the Mexican government at this point?
Very valid point. You know, that's a tangled web to unravel there.
A whole nother episode.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
This is still going. I am, you know, I'm scared that it's just gonna go in a
like
straight line. The
Princess
rest of it.
Peach.
It does look like
Like with
Princess.
her
It
little
could be
dress.
Princess Peach, yeah. That's why I said a witch, because it kind of looks like.
I don't know. The more I stare at it, the more I see Princess Peach.
I mean, regardless of what we perceive as the speed, the FLIR is keeping up with this thing.
The FLIR is able, the camera's
Which-
able to turn with it.
Yeah, it's not like when we watch the Go Fast video or
It was
the Tic
diving
Tac
out
video.
of frame, and they were having to.
They get excited when they catch it on camera because it's like almost impossible to lock onto.
lock onto it.
And this thing is just cruising, you know? It's funky looking though. It doesn't look like any traditional aircraft.
Well, and this is, we don't often see UFO videos coming out of the Southwest. You know, there's very few. Phoenix Lights is probably the most prominent
Yeah, I was
example
gonna say,
that I
there's a
can
lot.
think of.
Yeah. The Phoenix Lights were massive, and there's others.
There are others, but I feel like the prominence is located. I don't know. I feel like I guess Roswell. I don't know.
Yeah, Roswell's the
I
Southwest.
may
yeah.
be just
I
not
think you're off
thinking.
there. I think you're off
Yeah,
there.
I think I just wasn't thinking.
The
far
reality
enough.
is, in the Southwest, the landscape is such that you can see the sky. And often there are large, dark land masses that don't have a lot of light, so you don't end up with a lot of light pollution.
Yeah.
Where
is
it can
the
be
truth.
spooky driving at night, you know.
Well, like in
Oh, pitch
other
black.
neighborhoods that I've lived in town and stuff, like we didn't have streetlights because it was supposed to be where you can go and look at the stars and stuff. People wanted it to be dark like that.
Oh man, but pitch black is
It's scary.
an understatement. It gets where you can't
Yeah.
see your hand in front of your face.
You let
get
your
far
eyes
enough
adjust,
out.
and you can see the Milky Way just about any time in these places. So, the idea that you can see up, there isn't a lot of foliage in the way. I think it lends itself to more people seeing the full night sky. It's also clearer in terms of clouds. We don't
that is
in the
true.
Southwest get the
There's
kind
not
of
thunderstorms that last for days. I mean, monsoons,
monsoon
but
seasons, but
those are 30, 45 minutes and they're done. You know.
yeah, you get a lot of hours of clear skies. So it's kind of the perfect place to film UFOs. Now, what's interesting is watching these kind of films. It's funny to get this kind of angle from it when you're watching a UFO from the top down. You know, you're not looking up at it, which, you know, in the past, all the UFO videos that would come out were always
Grainy
somebody with a
footage from the
camera
ground.
on the ground. And now with a lot of these disclosures and these FOIA requests, we're getting this other look at them from above. Is it a triangle?
It looks like a triangle, but it also looks like two separate pieces, like a circular ball connected to almost a
It does.
cloth-like cone at the bottom.
It almost looks like it's projecting like a light out, but I don't think that's the case. I think
Is that maybe a heat that it's projecting?
is it an artifact, because it does look like two separate objects. There are points where you can see pixels in between.
Maybe it's just a ball and we're seeing like just a shine. Maybe it's glowing in the FLIR so brightly it's reflecting into the sensor weird, or like
It-
God rays for FLIR, you know what I mean? Or lens
Yeah.
flare.
Yeah, that could be. It's amorphous, right? It's changing shape in front of our eyes.
Well, the ball isn't. The bottom part is.
Yeah. Yeah, there does seem to be one pinpoint that is solid on it. Ooh, this will make you dizzy.
Yeah, it's.
It
This is
just
a
keeps
lot,
going.
man.
There's like a minute left.
I agree that I think it's
All right, everybody in the Princess Peach train. Steven, it's Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum. You know, we have to delineate two. Do we think Will Smith is the sphere or the conical shape at the bottom? Be careful, his lawyers might come after you.
Yeah, yeah. They're
He
out
doesn't
there.
want to be the conical shape, and you call him the conical shape.
I don't know what can be gleaned from this. It's interesting.
I don't know. I am afraid that a lot of the other videos are going to be just like this, with indiscernible amorphous shapes flying rapidly over desert landscapes.
some of them look more, I don't know, just appealing to watch than the.
What's it going across there?
That looks like either a river or a road, one of the
Yeah.
two. But the way that it curved very abruptly there makes me think it might have been like a river or a wash for one.
Well, I don't think it necessarily has to be like cartel equipment. No matter where you stand on the border issue, we do have a porous border. You know, either way, either you're advocating for more of a porous border or you're not, but everybody acknowledges that the border is relatively soft, or at least you should. Could this be nation state tech? Could it be a drone that China has launched from the Mexican border? And what would the value in that be? I mean, there are a lot of military bases in the Southwest, and there are some near the border.
Yes, there are some pretty important ones too. And
True.
supposed linking this back into a point from a few episodes ago, there's apparently a lot of deep underground military bases here too.
Ooh, yeah, that's something we could really get
A
into.
whole nother episode as well.
That absolutely is.
I mean, we can
but-
talk about it now.
Yeah, because I mean, it legitimately it ties into this area, in particular, being a kind of zone
so,
for this. Because yeah, I was way off base when I said it wasn't. I don't know what I was thinking then. I was
yeah, no, the
talking,
Southwest is
man.
absolutely a hub for UFO activity.
You know, I'm thinking about living back out east, and we had a park. We had a park that I went to one time that had an area that was legitimately chained off, and it had signs up that said UFO landing area. Like, you weren't allowed to go in it. It was designated for UFOs to land at if they ever wanted to. So I guess it was like more in my face out there. The only real in your face place it is out here is Roswell. You know, and maybe there's a couple other little spots, but it just kind of popped out at me more back east, is I guess why I said that.
Steven says, in all seriousness, it's the Silver Surfer.
Yeah. It did kind of look like the Silver Surfer.
I could see that too.
So you're telling me we're about to get our planet eaten. I don't like the sound of that. I'm gonna be real.
I'm gonna start this video. It looks like it might be an extension of the last one, but we'll go ahead and play it while we're talking.
11/23/19. It absolutely is an extension of the last one. You know, I'd say skip around in this one, see if we can see it doing anything interesting.
Well, so I want to get back to my point though. Could it be another nation state actor surveilling U.S. land, and for what reason?
Yes.
Like the balloons?
Yes, it could be.
Well,
Just
exactly. Like
that.
it's not like there's not a precedence.
Maybe that's just a
for
really
this kind of a
fast
thing.
balloon. Hold on. What we're seeing legitimately could be a balloon operating off of some kind of wind sail. Like a badminton. They hit it with a really big racket out of China, and it's currently flying its way back.
I mean, it does kind of look like a wind sail. Like we were talking about Superman, how it looks like a cape. I wish there was some clouds in this for reference, but I don't see any clouds.
Are we getting, instead of... It's not UFO disclosure, we're getting superhero disclosure, guys.
Right. There are superhumans amongst us. We call
Thank you
them
for not saying among us.
Z-Men. Hey, speaking of Z-Men,
Yeah.
is G-Man J gonna call in tonight?
I believe he is. I am gonna have to.
He keeps teasing us with this whole. I don't even know what he has to disclose to us. But, you know, we got our own personal G-Man.
Let me double check with him.
What
He
was his deal
said
last week?
He
said
was captured by a group of Malaysian rebels.
Yeah,
And it was very unfortunate. But he said he should be escaped by the time that we have our next episode. So I am going to go ahead and send the
Well, he's got to be
decrypted
careful with
message
his
this way.
superiors, too. We got to keep that in mind with whatever he talks about.
Yeah, we have to protect him.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want him indulging us in, you know, information that would get him in trouble.
Exactly.
Man, ooh, why is this camera strobing at me?
So I have issues with seizures, so we
Yeah.
should probably change this video.
Oh,
I mean, we're
boy.
kind of seeing the same thing over
Yeah, I
and over.
feel like it's just flashing at this point. I'm sorry, I
This
can't
isn't-
tell you what it is.
this
If
isn't
you
a-
have more guesses.
That's a
please
really
put 'em in the
interesting
comments.
angle of it here, though, that we're seeing. Because it seems more distinguished here.
Now it almost kind of looks like a flying saucer. Like that got stretched in the Y direction.
It turned oval.
Like, yeah, like this. Turns like, yeah, exactly. Rotated sideways.
I don't know what it is, but flying saucer or typical or archetypical UFO is not one that I'm thinking when I see this thing.
It's flying like a terrestrial craft, but I don't necessarily know if it's flying like a plane.
I don't know.
I mean, it's obviously low, right? Lower than wherever this plane is, but this plane was up there. It's zoomed in right now.
Did they lose it? No, there it is. Just
You know, I am very upset. It's very unfortunate that they don't record the radio transmissions that come along with these videos, or I'm sure they do, and it just wasn't part of the FOIA. But I'd be curious to see what the chatter about this object was as they were capturing this video.
Steven just said it looks like someone's standing up on something, which it kind of does because you have that
Floating
smaller
hoverboard
point.
or something. I could see that.
Is it scanning the ground?
Dude, it's illegal gold mining gangs with jetpacks.
Honestly, it's as good of a theory as any.
I mean, I saw a guy do this over the Royal Gorge in Colorado. Like, he got up on a hoverboard and was floating over. It was terrifying. I thought for sure he was going to die in front of me, but he didn't. It was pretty cool. He did it for what felt like a minute. I don't know how long he stayed up, but he was thousands of feet in the air.
Well, I was
he
gonna
didn't do
thanks.
this, though. He wasn't flying across the sky.
I was
What he
gonna
could've
bring
been.
that up because
hold on. We are seeing an interesting angle here real quick. You can really see if you back it up like
it does look
5,
like
6
somebody
seconds.
standing on something.
Yeah, the delineation between the two objects was very, very noticeable for a second there.
There it is again.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you know, the tech that civilians have now, the reality is you could tie some drones together and fly yourself around. Like, that's not an impossibility.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I've
Not
seen
strictly legal,
I've
but
seen more than enough videos, and oh man, it you know, there is some weird gray area there, since drones, like, under legality right now, have tiny little pilots in them. I don't know if it's necessarily illegal if you have a drone that fits inside the recreational guidelines that would be able to lift you, that you replace the tiny little pilot inside the drone with yourself, an actual pilot. As long as you were in full and total control of the drone, there's a good chance that you'd be all right under the FAA's current regulations. I'm not a lawyer. Don't take that as legal advice. God, please.
I was gonna say you're spitting it like you're a lawyer. No, I mean, you see like Halloween decorations or Christmas decorations when people put on these light shows with drones. I mean, an army of drones like that could create a lot of thrust.
Well, it's even more than like Halloween and Christmas light shows. You see, and this is a little bit of a tangent. Sorry about that, but you see like China, you've seen drone displays
I
that their
posted about that
government has
today.
done.
They were like moving around. I think it was in Japan or something.
Didn't they do something like that
Super
for the Olympics? Or...
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, those are massive swarms. I mean, those are 500, 600, 700 drones sometimes in those swarms that are all lighting up and dancing around each other. So you can do, like, the technology is definitely there to do some really impressive things.
Can you get enough thrust though to lift a
Yes.
200-pound person?
Yes, 110%.
And move them at this speed? You think?
need a drone about the size of the table that we're sitting at right now to do
Just
it.
a single drone?
Now, to move them at this speed, I'm not sure. The ones that I've seen that can do it can get maybe 15 to 40 miles an hour, somewhere in that range, without getting completely uncontrollable. But it's mostly been a few experimental individuals that I've seen do it online that have
So, in the context that this is Border Patrol, this could be some sort of cartel thing.
this could be a
using
drone
drones.
with a radar bulb on top of it.
Yeah.
Because if you look up
Or a person.
the
Or drugs.
look up Russia's latest their latest drone, not one of their FPVs, but they have one that's specifically winged. It's a winged drone.
This thing?
Mm-hmm.
I will put this up.
This could be it could be a similar thing that we're seeing. It might be
It almost looks like
I'm
that.
gonna say it looks very.
it might be a drone, a fixed wing drone of that shape that has either a cargo payload or a radar payload on top of it, because look up radar domes and that might be what we're seeing on top of that.
Drone?
Yeah, on a drone, on a
Okay. Yeah, maybe. They're not mounted, but
look up one on a plane. You'll see them. They'll sometimes be very, very
well,
circular.
it's like on the hurricane planes and stuff like that.
Exactly. They'll be almost a spherical shape.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. So, could it be a Russian drone launched somewhere from inside of Mexico?
That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, if you, and this is, God, not to get too political, this is going to be one comment out of the show, but if you look at the ratio of people coming in across the Mexican border, a lot of them aren't Mexican migrants, so it could be that there are some kind of other nation states at play inside of that country, with it being as politically destabilized as it
Well, there
currently
is some
is.
No, I mean,
stuff
it's
over
not-
there. So I get all my dental work done mainly in Mexico, and last time I was there, my dentist was saying that they've been getting like a odd amount of Russians coming in to get dental work, things like that. And he said it in the 20 something years he's been doing it, they haven't had that many people coming in from the country.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's not even a political thing. It's a fact.
Yeah. like,
You know,
that's
Russians
the-
do cross the border from, the Mexican-U.S. border, as well as there are, Russian populations on the Mexican side. So maybe.
So are we just
Interesting.
watching an intelligence gathering operation? Is that what we're seeing with that? Oh, that looks like it's chasing. Is that a warthog it's chasing? That looks like an A10 right there.
Let's check this out.
And A10s fly pretty fast. I think their top speed's 600 or 700 miles an hour.
Steven was saying, could it be carrying something underneath? Yeah, I totally think it.
Absolutely.
Or it's carrying the thing on top.
On top, underneath. I think on top with the viewpoint we were seeing makes more sense, but it is possible that
This
we
is
had
more
a weird
impressive.
angle.
Whatever this is here is interesting.
It is keeping up with that A10, dude. Oh my god.
Now, what's the top speed of an A10?
I want to say 600 or 700 miles an hour is their typical
Okay.
speed range they stay in. It may be a little bit lower than that, to tell you the truth. I don't think they're a particularly speedy plane.
I mean, I honestly don't know enough about planes, so I guess I don't have a whole lot of context.
I'm using my
For what
War
that even
Thunder
means.
knowledge. War Thunder sponsor
Should
us.
we rewatch that one? That was like way
That
more
was
worthy.
interesting. I am.
Yeah,
this one has some stuff going on.
This
So
was
I mean, it's following, it's banking. You can see the plane is making maneuvers that almost seem like evasive maneuvers to get this thing off of its tail.
Can I ask you what kind of camera is this? Another FLIR?
This looks like FLIR, or maybe like a
Night
FLIR
vision,
overlay
or-
on top of there's some new technology coming out in the military where there are FLIR overlays on top of standard photo amplification night vision tech where they overlay and do some edge detection, and this kind of looks like it could be a similar tech to that, maybe just employed at a...
Do we have another Jetsons car?
Yeah.
No, that's the plane. That's the plane right
Is
there.
it the plane?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think so. I don't think we're looking at the plane there. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. That's totally the plane. It's totally the plane. Well, you can see at a certain point in the video, it banks as though it's trying to get away from
Yeah,
it.
it's like a missile's on its tail, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised it doesn't drop flares or anything like that. It must know it's not a missile, right? It must know that it's a craft and not something trying to slam into its rear end and blow it up.
I doubt it
banks,
knows
and
what
I don't
it
think the
is.
sphere follows it.
Now, we don't see the sphere make any maneuvers that are, you know, like 90-degree angles or anything like that. But it's...
And it's small.
Yeah,
That's
whatever it is
small.
very small.
Compared to
I don't see a
Plane
drone
elevator.
keeping up with that. I mean, like your traditional kind of
No.
quadcopter drone keeping up with that. And if it was a larger drone, it would be more sizable in comparison to that.
Is it a really
Aircraft.
fast bird?
Like a Thunderbird, maybe? I don't know. It almost does look like it flaps if you look at
That's
it right.
why I asked that. I saw
I
it
saw that for a
too.
second. I was like,
I think a lot of what we're experiencing though is just
The camera moving up and down and
Cameras, yeah.
elongating it.
yeah. Which it's interesting that this footage is even shot, because what is it shot from that is shooting this jet anyway? You know, it's stuff we'll never know, because even the date on this appears to be redacted.
Yeah, because it's probably from like 2002 or something.
I'm gonna make a video compilation of all the times you break the chair.
Gonna be good.
Like, just leave it down, man. I'm gonna cut that out too. Like, just leave it down every time I say. All right, here we
is this
got
the same video?
Nope, different video. This is numero 6. I'm just moving on here.
No, I mean, but like, is it just the same video shot from a different
Oh.
perspective that almost looks like
I
the same plane?
Don't know. They've redacted the date on this too, it appears. Why redacted? I don't. Well,
Because it's probably so old. This might be from the 90s, man.
that's true.
It
You
might
just
be
don't
old
know.
enough that it would break people if they knew how old it was. You know, the 2019 one, yeah, sure,
This is
make the
not the
date
same
2019.
video.
People know there are aliens in 2019. No,
Right.
it's not. Or maybe this is the orb after it broke off and banked.
I don't think it's the same video, because they're the ones that are the same video. They seem to break into parts.
Parts, you're right.
Except one did kind of break that syntax, but I mean, what we're looking at here is a speck of light, presumably in the sky.
Flying pretty fast, it looks like, if the weird stuff we're seeing underneath it isn't just camera noise. And that's actually movement we're seeing. But it looks like
Yeah.
they lost it here.
Yep, that's the end. I mean, I could play it again, but it's literally just
No,
a
I think we
speck
saw
of
what we
light.
needed to see on
you
that
know.
one.
Enough effects, you could create that with a laser on a wall. I always say it. This
Ooh,
looks familiar,
that is the A10 again.
and this one has a date.
That was almost not FLIR. Did you see? We could see the plane itself. It's flapping, man.
It looks like it's flapping.
It's
It's
a really big
Mothman.
duck. Are
Again,
they poisoning the well with this footage?
Yeah, this goes back to is the government trolling us? You know.
The pilot's like, get this duck off of me. I swear to God, it's been following me for like 300 miles.
I'm gonna play that one again. Why not?
Is it flapping?
I can't tell.
This is the definition of dead air while we all ponder if this is a giant turkey.
We're pondering the orb.
Is that jet just pulling behind a kite?
Is this really a miniature? Did they hire George Lucas for this?
Is anybody doing YouTube chat?
I saw a
Let's
picture.
check some YouTube chats. My computer went down right when
Oh,
we
did
started
it?
the show, so I
Oh,
tried to log in.
I'm sorry, I didn't
but-
know that.
I don't see anything coming through. Is anything past
I was
Steven?
talking to Steven a little bit, but
All I see.
Okay, I got another one that had just said talking of bats.
yeah, we're good. I don't know what to make of these per usual, because it's like how any of these are vague enough. It's impossible to truly tell unless you have some of the more valuable data points on it. And all we have is a date and some footage. I don't know of a bird that can keep up with a jet, though.
No,
So,
not at all. But we do see birds flying into jets, which I've got an interesting topic, and I'm not going to spoil too much about it here, but I've got an interesting topic related to birds flying into jets. I think I might bring up one of these days.
I know a story of, I want to say NASA had, or Boeing, somebody had borrowed, essentially they have a turkey launcher that will launch frozen turkeys into a windshield to see if the windshields on planes or on the shuttle will withstand the impact of the bird. And I want to say, I don't know who borrowed it from who. Maybe it was NASA that borrowed it from Boeing or something like that. And they keep launching the turkeys and they keep breaking the windshield. And they finally called the other party who they had borrowed it from to ask them why this kept happening. And they're like, you defrosted the turkeys, right?
That's it.
Oh no.
Yeah. I think that's a true story. I could be wrong. I'd have to verify.
think
Regardless, it's a good joke.
Sounds like it could be. Oh, this one looks busy. Oh, more saguaros.
You're from the Southwest. Say that again.
Saguaro.
Saguaro?
Spent 20 years in the Southeast.
Is it a saguaro? I'm from
Saguaro.
Chicago, and I know it's saguaro.
Saguaro?
Saguaro?
Saguaros.
Oh,
We
God.
got them goddamn saguaros down there in the desert. I tell you what, we go up to them and we hug them. We give them big old hugs, and we just do it because we're so damn manly out here in the desert. I tell you what, boy. They didn't redact anything on this one.
This isn't aerial. It doesn't look like. This looks like a maybe it's mounted onto a hillside or a mountainside.
Or maybe it's mounted on a blimp.
And this doesn't look redacted, but it's so fuzzy.
I was gonna say I can't really read anything on
Yeah,
it.
that would be pretty hard.
Enhance?
Might look like Harrison Ford.
What are we seeing here?
Very
Road
fast-paced
runner.
ninja.
Why is it like rubber banding back and forth?
But it seems to be going with the video frames, so maybe it's something like that. Steven says it's a bird because you can see it came into frame ahead of the plane and it was just trying to keep up.
So do you think it may have been like,
That was on the last video, I assume.
do you
Yeah.
think it may have been closer in frame than the plane or maybe further? And we're seeing it keep up only because like there's a distance difference between the two.
It could be a possibility.
I think this video looks like Mr. Burns' ghost from like the X-Files parody episode of The Simpsons.
It's like someone just running across the desert really,
It wasn't his
really
ghost.
fast.
It was him, but he'd been like injected with
Like, a
like
specter of him.
yeah, people thought he was an alien, but it was just Mr. Burns all hopped up on medication and glowing.
Man, you have gotten me into The Simpsons here recently. You've shown me. I've seen a couple of good episodes.
Yeah, you gotta watch the
and-
first 18 years or so.
Come on, don't tell me that. That's what people say when they try to get me into One Piece.
Whatever. You try to get me to like in Homestuck. I could die reading it.
Oh God, he's outed me.
That's so weird. That's so
Very
weird.
It looks like a person hovering. The Flash.
The Flash.
So we got the Silver Surfer
Maybe.
and the Flash. It's superhero disclosure, guys.
Definitely.
Superhero
Let's bring this
disclosure.
back.
Can I join the X-Men?
Maybe he's time traveling. He's running towards
Look at because it really does. It rubber bands, like when they first pick up on it, which is weird because I want to say they switched the frame.
Is this in some video game?
Like it looks like it's cut almost. There, it's like switches the frame, and now we see this thing zipping across. Is this an explainable phenomenon? Could this be ball lightning? I feel like ball lightning's like the catch-all for everything, though.
Everything.
It's ball lightning. Those are cows.
It didn't even startle them
That's
cows.
cattle. You see the cattle?
Yeah, so it's smaller than a cow and it's at ground level.
It's definitely
It looks
moving pretty
larger
quickly.
than the cows. Considering it's behind them. And it is zipping along.
It just flashed back like 20 feet right there.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Sorry, y'all.
I mean, I don't
Is
think
it someone
UFO.
on like an electric bicycle just zipping through the desert?
Could be.
I don't know. There's no way it's somebody on an electric bike. That terrain is so rocky and it's moving fast. If it was a vehicle, I would be very surprised. I think we're looking at some sort of phenomenon. I couldn't tell you what exactly, but we're also talking about like really rural land. Like there's got to be some sort of like Native American legend to match this.
Yeah, I'd imagine. If anyone knows what Native American legends sound similar to this, please let us know. And if the Flash is a Native American legend, also please, that'd be pretty cool.
This is a really cool video. I want to speculate more, but I feel like I need to find something that matches it. And it would be interesting if we could manage to read any of these coordinates or anything to know exactly where it was. I think we could dig in there potentially deeper if you could figure out where that was.
Where, yeah.
Let's see here. Let's pull up another one, shall we?
We shall.
Kind of coming to the end, I believe. All right, now we're talking.
Oh.
We got data and everything. This isn't like redacted. Something flying in a straight line.
It looks like a helicopter.
Not sure what we're over here. It almost looks like a airport or a military installation.
Yeah, those are hangars down there at the bottom, it looked like.
There's another Jetsons car. Has an odd glow around it.
Again, like that first one we watched. And it also kind of almost looks like it weaves into a triangular shape, too. Whoa.
That was
Did it look like it just did a crazy flip
It
maneuver?
looked like it ate itself. But yes.
It looks like it's continuous spinning.
Well, this just seems like a better resolution.
Oh
like we
my
have
god,
more
look at, hold on,
detail.
pause. Go back
Sure,
up a little bit.
Hang on.
Sorry. There's something interesting to talk about right not there, go a little bit more forward. That's interesting. We can talk about that too. That maneuver was
Can
wacky.
we?
But right here. Pause right there. You see how it's black then white then black
Yeah.
around it?
Like
It's
a
like there's
glow around it.
yeah, it's like there's a layer of heat and then a layer of cold and then another layer of heat jettisoning off from that layer of
Do you
cold.
see that like
I
lens
did, the
flare
cross,
effect?
that-
Lens flare effect. That there's like a cross almost like there.
Probably the best one.
Yeah, so far I would say so. I think that last one was really interesting. Not from a
Ooh,
UFO
it just did a flip
perspective.
again.
It appears to be doing flips. Is it landing? That thing's landing, no?
Getting low.
It appears low.
I mean, that just went
Oh,
right over
that's
those cars.
civilization.
Yeah. Is there coordinates on here?
I'm looking. 171.53. Yeah, there are.
I can try to pull that up.
I don't know if those are coordinates or just what angle the gimbal's at.
Is it changing?
Yeah. Actively as the camera moves. I'm looking at the rest of the screen. Yeah, there are. Wait. They're time coordinates, though.
Did it go into
Time
water?
coordinates?
18, 27,
What is it?
23 north, but they're denoted by colons, so it looks like time. Look at the bottom left and the bottom right. You've got north and west there, but they're like coloned off. 67, 08, 40.
Oh, okay.
Target, so their target positioning is on the bottom and the aircraft positioning is on the left. I'm at the bottom right. They're at 3,000 feet in the air.
That's water, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
What we're looking at is in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico.
I just pulled it up. I'll pause and just show it now rather than wait. If I put these in right, that's where we're talking. Because you said 18.3 north, minus 6707
Hold on, go back to
west.
the video.
It's right.
Maybe.
No, it's
I
right.
just want to make sure. So we got 18, 25,
So-
08. Yeah.
They can't see
67,
that, but let me show it. You had to move your screen. 1830 north, roughly 70 or 6708 west.
26th of April, 2013.
Yeah, so this was recent.
No, 2013.
Oh, that's the second time I've done that, and I'm gonna clip that too. Who made the joke last time about it being like 10 years in the future, and I apparently just don't understand decades.
Hey, math's hard, man. Math's hard.
You know what else is hard? Chairs.
That they are. So that's where the plane's at, and we're looking at it probably from like El Yugo, you know what I'm saying? At that angle, that kind of
Well, and it looked like they were starting to show the ocean. So I don't, here's 5 miles. So we're talking about roughly maybe 10 miles from the ocean here. So,
Oh, that's
yeah.
only 10 miles. See, I'm used to seeing interstate numbers and expecting hundreds of miles of difference. Okay.
Well, it's Puerto Rico. It's
Yeah.
small, but this, according to the scale here, this would be 5 miles. So, call it like 10 miles, maybe. So, just something of note there. Puerto Rico.
If we have anyone
Which makes sense,
from
'cause-
Puerto Rico and you have video of this, please
Or,
call in.
or Border Patrol would obviously have an active presence in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
What happened? Is it gone now?
It looks like it's gone now.
Like it's looking for it?
Where'd it go? I missed where it disappeared.
Like into the ocean.
Oh, did it go underwater? It went underwater.
Yeah, it submerged. At least that's what it looks like to me.
Okay, they're not aliens. We don't have
wait,
aliens.
It like came
we
back
have...
up. There it is. Wait, hang on. There it is. It looks like it's skipping on the water. Like it doesn't care about the water.
Okay, we don't have aliens. Hear me out, guys. You know how evolution, like evolutionary theory dictates we evolve from fish? Yeah, what if the fish also evolved?
I don't
into
think
people?
it dictates
What if
we
we've got
evolved from
water
fish.
aliens?
I don't know about
We
water
can't even get
aliens.
to the Marianas Trench. What if they're living
It
down
does
there?
not dictate that we evolved from fish.
Fish.
It dictates that we evolved from sea. That all life came from the sea.
Yeah, exactly.
That
What
doesn't
if
mean it
some
was
of it
fish.
stayed? Okay, I was hyperbolizing. What if life stayed in the sea and also got smart?
Hang on. So watch where it disappears here, because they give us a really good look.
Octopus are like the monkeys to
Why?
us.
Why do you do this? Watch this. Just watch. This is like the best thing we've seen all night. You want to talk about octopus monkeys?
Well, I'm hitting points here. I'm telling you, we got underwater aliens.
You think it's underwater aliens?
Yeah, I'm just saying like.
Is it going into the water? Is what I'm trying to establish.
It looks like it's going
It
into the water. It
appears
really
like
does.
Eventually go on.
It doesn't zip up into the sky. Yeah, it appears to go underwater. So we're talking about a USO, unidentified submersible object here.
Gone.
So, I mean, yeah, Hollow Earth theory. It's real. They're squid people. They evolved parallel to us.
Squid people.
They've developed technology beyond our comprehension.
Where do you think Lovecraft got the idea?
Antarctica, drugs? Man. I don't know. Where did he get all his ideas?
I don't know. Cosmic Void.
I mean, Lovecraft's crazy.
I think this was by far the best video.
So far, yeah. That was cool.
It's kind of neat that it goes from flying at high speeds to underwater.
Well, I got one more that we can do, and then we can open up lines, take some calls, and then we'll probably take a break for 15 minutes or so, and then come back. Here's the last one, I believe, that was on there, is video 10.
Looks like another paraglider.
Does it, though?
The way it's moving, it's like dipping up and down. Looks like a person hanging off of something. Yeah, it's going to touchdown. Or maybe it's a box with a parachute.
It looks like an air
You're gonna watch it
jellyfish.
hit the building.
This is my kid's birthday balloon.
We're getting trolled.
You hear E in the background. No, my balloon, my balloon.
It just landed. We're getting trolled. There's a balloon.
Somebody's out there killing dolphins.
This doesn't look like FLIR either. This looks like infrared. So keep that in mind. That thing wasn't producing a ton of heat.
It does look like infrared.
Oh, no, it's back. It's back. It's back. Back and it's floating up.
What the heck are we looking at?
A balloon.
It looks like a balloon, right?
It's floating around.
Maybe it's a tiny little flying gnome. A Metroid.
Scary.
It does kind of look like a Metroid. I'm down with the Metroid theory.
It is moving funky. I'll turn the camera. You're missing the action.
Right? So like 2 weeks ago, I beat Metroid for NES.
Yeah.
It was the first Metroid game I played all the way through. And it was very good.
Steven says Chris Angel. It could be.
It's all Chris Angel. Project Bluebeam is really a code name for the greatest Chris Angel stunt ever performed.
Okay. I don't even know where to go
We
with
saw
that.
Chris Angel out at Vandenberg Air Force Base when I was in high school, and it was an interesting thing. We were told to, like, you know, cheer him on, even though he wasn't actually doing too much, and it was all filmed. It was kind of crazy.
Interesting. Why is Chris Angel filming at Air Force bases? Curious.
I have no reason to believe that's anything other than a balloon or a grocery bag caught in the wind, or
It looks like a tiny box with a parachute on it.
like a tea light candle thing, you know?
Yeah.
like one of those little hot air balloon
Paper
things you can
things that
make.
They do.
This is
ending on a
so
low
they did.
note.
They buried one real video inside of like 5.
No, there was a couple. There was some interesting ones. There was a thing on the ground.
There
Uh,
the witch one.
But yeah, some of these do seem like
This Princess
nothing.
Peach.
This one seems like nothing. So, I mean, that's all of them. This is
We do have a records file there. I don't know if we want to look through that. It might have some information on them. The Pentagon's UAP task force.
I mean, this is 389
Oh,
pages. So,
no.
yeah. Feel free to read this one, guys. Let us know what you find. But yeah, I mean, that's the extent of those videos. That's very cool. It's very cool that it's coming from Border Patrol and not another source.
It's definitely in.
Agree.
Like I said, I didn't even know Border Patrol had a FOIA room before I found this, so.
Well, it makes sense that they do. A
No,
federal
100%.
agency. I think anybody can be FOIA requested, so. But some of those, so one dated back almost 10 years, and that was the really interesting one,
Yeah.
right? It was 10 years old, and they just released that like last week, apparently. As far as we know, it's never been released before. So that video that we watched, if you're watching it, you're probably one of the first people to see that. Because I haven't seen
Absolutely.
this hit like big in the media anywhere or anything like that. You know, when we watch the Tic Tac or the Go Fast video, those are big. You see them all over the place. That video was an interesting one that exists in a space where nobody's really seeing it yet. Anyway, we'll see.
kind of buried. I'm not gonna lie.
Sorry, y'all. It looks like I'm texting on my phone. Well, I am because my phone or my computer went out, so I'm having to do
Trying
the
to talk
chat
on
through my
chat.
phone.
Yeah. Our computer's been having issues. Should we see if anybody wants to call in
Yeah,
for a little bit here?
absolutely.
All right. You guys want to call? Please do. In the meantime, if you could, like and subscribe.
And if you don't want to call in, hit us up in the chat.
Yeah, talk to us
We're
in
okay
chat.
with that. Some
Uh,
people get phone shy.
leave a comment if you don't even want to talk in chat, or darkdial.com. Check out our forum. Talk to us there. I think we're going to build something really cool there in time, so be for it on the ground floor.
Absolutely.
How are the dogs doing?
George is currently passed out. I'm pretty something around. Busy, and Marley, he's just having a rough day.
Hey, Mark.
Oh. Want to see Marley boy?
Well, if G-Man Jay, I say we tell him to call after the break.
Gotcha.
We've been on for about an hour, well, almost an hour and a half.
Marley boy might be getting some doggy dementia.
Yeah.
He's been having a rough little day today. My old man.
I'm gonna go back in just for reference so we know which one was the one we all found the most
Good
interesting.
one.
I believe
And-
it was number 9.
And don't forget to check out the show archives. I am being a horrible procrastinator, and I'm gonna have to get last week's and this week's up tomorrow for you guys. But these videos are gonna be in there, or at least links to the FOIA request if I can't get the videos up. So make sure to check that out so you guys can have these files for yourself. Make sure to download them. Don't want them disappearing one day and you not to have them. Hey.
Yeah, all their citations go up. Chance does a pretty good job of curating that.
Pretty good. Not great.
So yes, it was video number 9. The one
Number
in
9.
Puerto Rico that looked like it was submerged into the water.
They're realistically not that high up in the air.
Well, I mean, we didn't even bring it up, but the reality is if you have the technology to warp space and time, water, air, doesn't matter what you're traveling through, you know?
Yeah, no.
Theoretically,
the
you're
same.
going to be able to travel through it. Unless it's solid, right?
Even then, maybe.
It's a good question. Can you travel through solid objects by expanding time in front of or behind a ship?
Theoretically, if we were able to expand time in front of it to a point where the rock was no longer there. Feels wacky, man.
It is. It's interesting. Yeah, if you guys
excited for when after the break we go into some of that cloning stuff, because I've been spending a little bit too much time on YouTube and
It'll be good.
honestly, we took
man.
longer to go through those videos than I anticipated.
They were a bit longer than I anticipated.
That's okay. It's interesting. I love. It seems like we keep falling back on the UFO video stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we keep finding them, watching them, and kind of giving our reactions in real time. And I honestly think it's good. It's stuff people want to see.
Stuff I want to see, that's for sure.
yeah, I was gonna say
Underwater, right
it
there.
goes underwater. Yeah.
By all means, if you guys want to call in, you don't got to talk to us about UFO stuff either. You just
Anything you want.
yeah, you want to talk about your pet. If you got an interesting pet like a Machilian-bembe, a sauropod, a plesiosaur-like creature that you found somewhere in Africa, we want to know about that. Or if you just have a weird gremlin dog, not unlike ours.
Weird gremlin dogs are interesting. I think they might be the ones piloting the water spheres, to tell you the
Ooh, spooky time. Are you scared, Chance?
Yeah.
How scared are you?
I'm very scared.
Okay.
It hasn't been.
We did not light the stage lighting before we started. Yeah,
Again, we're still.
that's okay. It still looked all right. We're good.
Well, today's been crazy, bringing 30 some odd kids cupcake. Trying to get back in time for the show. It's been busy.
And we want to wish a very happy birthday to our longtime viewer, Emma.
Birthday, kiddo.
You guys are stuck watching this, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, dude, I
Sorry.
can't. Yeah, it
It's all right.
takes me.
It's a good one.
I love how they lose it. They're like, where did it go? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, that's 100% airport right there.
It looks like it. It really looks like an airport. Are we going to do more Mandela effects? Yeah, I think we're going to. People seem to really like that. The video did well. Gosh, we
I
were
thought
going
it did.
off. We're going off about Oscar Mayer. What was the one we were talking about recently? We haven't talked about it on
The
air.
hypnotic. We were walking through Walmart the other day. I saw the bottle,
okay.
and I swear, like 12 years ago, it had a Y, and now it's a P. So I stopped what I was doing. We're walking through the store. We're picking up stuff that we need, and I look over, and I'm like, that is not the bottle I remember. And he starts laughing at me because he's like, it's always been like that. No, it hasn't. It had a Y. It had a Y. That's wrong.
This is what she's talking about.
It's wrong. It was HY.
I remember that too. I seem to.
I wish I had
Well.
photos, because I remember taking pictures with us holding these bottles when I was younger, but I wish I could
Didn't
find
see
them.
that one.
I don't know. I wasn't really familiar with this. I do know that Chance told me he believed that they used the same glaze that they use on Pop-Tarts, right?
Well, we had figured out it wasn't actually in this. It was in another drink, and that was
It's
something.
like a shiny.
Yeah, but you thought it was in this,
I
right?
thought it was in this because the spelling of the two is extremely, extremely similar. The drink that actually uses that is called Viniq, and it's spelled in a similar way. It's Viniq.
And it's like more purple.
It's more purple, so I had got those two confused in my brain. And something a lot of people say about Hypnotic, that it, bar just the spelling of it, is that it used to be a shiny drink, and I believe it's people confusing it with this, at
With
least on
this
that
one?
I
specific
don't
part.
necessarily remember it being shiny, because I have actually drank the purple one.
Mhm.
But the hypnotic, I swear it had a Y. I mean, maybe I've lost my mind. Possible too. But I'm pretty sure it had a Y.
No, I'm gonna have to say I am with you on that 1%.
Steven, if you know any more of the Mandela effects and you let us know, we'll look them up and talk about those.
No, I'm not familiar with this, but I've never found any evidence it was spelled any other way than it is HPNOTIQ, which is weird because there's no Y and there's a Q, right? It's the Y that's the
loss.
Yeah, HY. Not it.
And people swear that it was shiny, and it wasn't ever shiny. This stuff's shiny, so apparently this wasn't on the market long.
I remember the blue one just being light blue, like icy Gatorade color in your cup. I don't remember it being shiny. Now the purple one I've had in the last 4 years. I had it with one of my friends since I've lived here, so.
Well, and it's kind of weird that this is shiny, and you say it's the same stuff they use on Pop-Tarts.
It's the lacquer that they coat Pop-Tarts, the frosting part of Pop-Tarts in to make it shiny, yeah.
I don't know, I wonder if it was taken off the market because it's unhealthy, or
that
like you were
lacquer,
just drinking sparkle. I don't know.
It almost looked like, you know those squishy toys that like go from one side to the other? It kind of reminded me of that, and when you put it in your glass, it was kind of thick like.
Oh.
Steven was saying the Chick-fil-A Mandela effect.
Thank you.
That is all
Chick-fil-A.
you.
Oh man.
Yeah,
As
we
someone who
talked
grew
about
up
this.
in the South, where there was on every street corner, it was either a Waffle House, a Baptist church,
That's just
or a
those in
Chick-fil-A. Okay, one of those three things was on a street corner anywhere you looked, and sometimes they'd all be at the same street corner. I used to make the joke when I was a child, chic-fil-A. Okay, C-H-I-C, chic-fil-A. Why would I ever even make that joke when it's never been spelled like that?
Because
Ever.
you're illiterate.
No, I mean, yes, but that doesn't matter.
I swear it was Chick-fil-A.
It was Chick-fil-A. It never had a K.
It's funny that they always put them across the street from churches because on Sundays they're closed and that's when churches have people. The irony.
Sunday, let's go to churches.
I didn't grow up in the South, and I remember when a Chick-fil-A did show up in the vicinity that I was, everybody was very excited about it. I also remember a lot of controversy about them in like the 2000s and their stance on like gay rights and
It's
stuff.
God's
I
chicken.
don't like their stance on things necessarily, but their chicken is bomb.
So the Chick-fil-A thing, what did you think it was? You thought there was no...
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so you called it
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. I think you called it... So to me, that's a joke like JCPenney, to like make it sound fancy, you know?
But I made
yes,
that
it's
joke.
JCPenney.
But I wouldn't have called it
Chick-fil-A.
chic. Chic was one of those words.
Were you just trying to make it sound like you went to a fancy restaurant?
No, it was a joke. It was like a comment. It wasn't just me that said it. It was like a joke in the area.
Yeah, but that's probably why it was a joke in the area. That it was like making it sound like there was a fancy restaurant.
No. It was
I feel
because
like I
it was
remember
spelled
the
chic.
signs actually being without the K.
Well, that, you took it as a joke like Home Depot, but I think that's not what it was. To me, that sounds like I said, like fancy restaurant.
I don't know.
Chick-fil-A.
I don't know, man. I'm telling you, there was never a K. I ate a lot of the Chick-fil-A while I was in that time period as well. Like, I went to that restaurant. Like, I was a consumer of the chicken, of God's chicken.
God's chicken. I mean, it's pretty good chicken. I like Chick-fil-A. It's pretty good.
As much as I love them, I wouldn't even be allowed to work there. Visible tattoos.
They're an interesting company.
Well, and I've had pink hair for like the last 5 years, so I definitely wouldn't be allowed to work there. Ollie?
Make sure to get into your mic good.
Sorry, y'all, I'm not sitting up.
Call in, please. It's 857-32-D-dial. 857-323-3425.
I want some Chick-fil-A now.
No, all of a sudden made me really want some.
Waffle fries, guys.
But we
waffle
live
fries.
so far from the nearest Chick-fil-A.
Oh, that is
I feel
so
like
bald.
a lot of these Mandela effects are like corporate misremembrances because a lot of them are Hypnotic, Chick-fil-A. I'm trying to think of some of the other
Oscar
ones.
Meyer.
Oscar
Fruit of the
Meyer.
Loom.
It's
The Fruit of the Loom,
Fruit
don't
of
even
the
get me
Loom.
started.
Okay.
Because
George.
Here we go.
the Bernsteins, whatever.
Fruit of the Loom, man. Fruit of
That's
the
the one that
Loom
gets me every time because I
fucks
swear I
me
can remember
up.
it.
Editor, bleep that out. I'm the editor. Fuck. Wait, shit. God.
Stop it.
And YouTube takes us down.
Don't say that. Yeah.
The first two were a joke. The last one was legit.
We can take it all later.
No,
But
it's
honestly,
fine.
we need to stream in more of a delay because of that. But also, it's hard to interact with chat like that, so whatever.
Steven, what time is it there? No, it might be 2 hours different nowadays. What time would it be in Tennessee right
I
now?
looked at my watch. Like, one, I have a watch that has different time zones, and two, like, my watch is set, and it is neither of those things.
The Fruit of the Loom logo.
Where is the cornucopia?
It's missing.
Where is it? Where did it go? Did it go on vacation? Because it didn't invite me.
There was no cornucopia.
You're
there was
wrong.
no cornucopia. No,
You are of
grew
all
up-
of them. You are flat out wrong.
Yeah, on this one, I agree with Chance. It had look different.
On all of them, this one I literally only wore Fruit of the Loom underwear for the first like 17 years of my life. That's the only brand I got. I was very familiar with that logo.
I think it's just because, you know, like, especially around the holidays, you would see this image of a cornucopia and associate it with the Fruit of the Loom image.
Why in God's name would I associate it with Fruit of the Loom? Why wouldn't I associate it with something else that I saw more prominently than an underwear logo?
Well, I
doesn't
mean, you
even
just said
look
you
like the same
wore it every day.
No, I understand that, but I'm talking as a collective eye here, thinking of there's a lot of people that misremember this. You see that around Thanksgiving. What prompts you to think of it and combine it with that
Every
logo
other
that you
day
may or
of
may
the
not have even like you might not even wear those clothes, so it might not be something prevalent on your mind. You know what I mean?
What you need to do is explain to me how this happens and why this happens. Like, everybody who's into this Mandela effect thing about corporate logos being retroactively changed, for what reason? What
Quantum
purpose
immortality.
does that serve?
It's quantum immortality. We're all dying in horrible apocalyptic events, and the ones of us that die, our consciousness shifts to a new timeline where we're not dead, and
Yeah.
little bitty things change, and it happens to be these.
I think that's interesting.
This all
That could
started
be the
being
case.
found after 2012, which the Mayan calendar's a bust. It's not what it says it was, but hey, there's food for thought.
2012. I don't know about that, but you're breaking me. You're breaking me. You're right. Quantum immortality is real. I don't think that two things are mutually exclusive. I don't think quantum immortality has to happen for your consciousness to shift over. And so let's say you die in this universe, but your consciousness continues in another parallel universe where maybe things are a little different, and the Fruit of the Loom logo doesn't have a cornucopia.
Okay, so we're getting told that our feed is lagging a little bit, and same with the audio. So maybe right now is a good time to take our break and come back.
Well, I don't know why that would be. Let's see.
Does it seem like it's internet lag, Steven? Or does it seem like it's the equipment itself is having trouble keeping up? What are you seeing on your end, my man?
Yeah, all systems go on this side, so. Anyway, we kind of derailed that for that.
Go to the froom.
We do lag in terms of the comments and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a slight delay between what you're seeing and us reacting to comments. You'll put it in. It is going to be a bit behind when we actually respond to it. We're not able to get it perfectly real time.
I think they do that a lot for like protection.
And it
Some of the
absolutely
live
is.
streams that have happened. Pretty horrific thing.
It's so when we inevitably get swatted, we can turn the stream off before you see it so that it's not an embarrassing thing we have to talk about later.
Happened.
We might be lagging a bit. All right, well, let's go to break, and we'll be back.
15
in-
minutes, so stay
well,
tuned.
Yeah, hopefully 15 minutes. We're going to see if we can fix the lag, and then we'll come back, because we're just arguing about Mandela effect anyway.
Okay, we're coming back to some clone talk.
Don't talk. Think
Okay.
I'm a clone now.
I need to know which celebrity is a clone.
Jennifer Aniston and Eminem, both, because they haven't aged a day in the past 30 years.
You know, she looks dang good for her age. I mean, even not for her. I mean, it doesn't look like she's changed.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. Audio is repeating, and it's still showing the Fruit of the Loom photo.
Yeah, I don't
Interesting.
know if that's YouTube server, but our FPS has dropped. We're okay in terms of data-wise. Like, I'm not hitting a data cap or anything. It may be one of the services we're using.
Well, give us a chance to work on that, Steven. Stay tuned. I know it's late there, but if you want to stay in and talk about some clones with us, we'd love that.
Celebrity clones. Dun dun dun.
He's on Tennessee time, so I know it's a little later there, but if you want to stick with us, we'll be here.
You guys want to do the thing?
Yeah, let's do the thing. Like, subscribe, and get notification.
Please do. All right, guys, we'll be back in just a little bit here.
Soon.
See you soon. He
They
didn't
said
say
our
it.
audio's clipping.
He didn't say anything until just recently. Everything was.
Mute.